episode 6 of the remake of Fist of the North Star. What did we think about it? Um, as despite the fact that there are many different things that happen in this episode, uh, and we get all of those different things in the classic series too, but at the same time, so they're the same things, but they're also very different. I don't know how they did that in the classic series to get all of these things that we have in the manga apparently, and the same things, but change them so much to get a very precise, another very precise story when you think about it. So that's very interesting. But despite the fact that we have all of these different things, I don't have much to say. Um, it's just different, just gets to be different. But at the end of the day, it's Kenshiro beating villains in it, so it gets to be that. Now, of course, what I love about the classic series is that we have many subtleties. My whole analysis series of the classic series relies on that. That's what I'm talking about, not the explicit things. The explicit, you get it already, hopefully. So, now, so far, I think we were losing, and still now, the subtleties. Every one of them, I believe, that we had in the classic series, and I can't see much subtlety in this remake. So I'm going to say this later, of course, but so far I don't think it's a bad anime independently to the classic series. I don't think it's bad, but it's okay. So it's fine, but I think there are many flaws. And well, I wouldn't make an episode per episode analysis of this remake. I wouldn't have much to say, honestly. So, um, so I don't have much to say concerning this episode, but I have a few things. Well, first I want to say, before getting into what happens within the episode, I want to say some sort of meta thing, outside of the episode, but concerning this episode, which is, let's say, the order of the anime, right? Because one important thing is that in the classic series, this whole God Army, which is called something else here, I'm going to call it God Army because I'm not even sure how you pronounce Goran. Anyway, so God Army, that's easier to me. Um, happens in the classic series before Kenshiro confronts Shin, of course, at the end of part one in the classic series. And I'm going to say then something in relation to what happens within the episode, let's say. But first, as a meta thing, I preferred, let's say, the fact that it's before Shin. Now, I'm not going to develop this much because, of course, this whole God Army thing isn't over yet. So I don't know how it's going to be developed and how it's going to be concluded. But I struggle with the idea that it may be, as in this gradation, with this idea of gradation that you get stronger and stronger opponents, that the God Army comes after Shin. Quite struggle with this idea. I like the fact that in the classic series it came before, and so, but I don't know how it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be like the Fan Clan, let's say. So it's not really going to be represented as a stronger opponent. But I like the fact that it came before in the classic series, especially for, well, the first thing that I wrote down here, and that's a difference within the episode, which is that, so it's not the God Army, which is in the service of God, and God is someone in the anime, in the classic series, it's Shin. Now, here it's an independent guerrilla or something, so it's just dudes who claim to be in the service of God, who work in the name of God. I think I know that, so of course, other episodes are going to come, but it's not under the Nanto, let's say, label. I have a bit of a doubt though, so we'll see in the next episode. But I don't think that, because in the classic series, the Colonel says that he practices the Nanto. I recently watched it back. It's the Silent Fist of the Nanto. That's his school because there are many schools. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I like the fact. But well, in the classic series, they're under Shin's orders, right? I think here it's independent, and we'll see in the next episodes whether we have good things here too, different good things, and often we have that. So But in the classic series, what I liked the fact that they're under the Nanto title. I like that. Why? Here's the very specific thing I want to say. If you want to, I want to talk about this later, by the way, in an independent video or something, but let's benefit from this opportunity. If you wanted to compare, let's say, the Hokuto and the Nanto to some real life things, and there'd be many ways to do this, but one way of doing it, one dichotomy that I'd like to present, let's say, is, let's say, the difference between army, right, military in real life, and a traditional martial art. So let's say more like a career, more like a logic-based thing, right, technical, and the one is artistic, it's a martial art, it's spiritual, philosophical, let's say. It's a path of life, a way of life. So one is more pragmatic, we may say, and the other one is more spiritual. And so this is quite the kind of dichotomy that we have between the Nanto and the Hokuto. One quite explicit thing, clear thing, in that direction is that the Hokuto is that a unique martial art that stays hidden and comes out only in chaos, right? But the Nanto was protecting the emperor. And you have all of those schools. It's kind of like you have the different specialties in fighting, but it's a very physical approach, let's say, but spiritual. It's like pressure points. Everyone has the same pressure points. And so there's one way of doing it. It's kind of this idea also, think of, for example, this idea that maybe every religion goes back to some common, original, let's say, spirituality or languages or humanity. This traditional idea that of a common ancestor, common origin, you see. But you don't have that in the counterpart, of course. So, but then the Nanto dudes are not really going to be represented as soldiers, you know, people from the military or something. So what I liked about the God Army is that they were such dudes. They're an army working for the Nanto and their God, you know. Also, now this is more precise, we quite lose, well, the army and what we said in our analysis of the classic series concerning the God Army, that they exert this mechanical tyranny that an army would exert onto the people in the name of God, and we talked about fake God and so on. We quite lose that, because here the God Army, so I don't think that it's for Shin or something, but they rather come across, this is the feeling that I got, tell me what you think, but they rather come across a sect, right? They think they're convinced that they're chosen by God and so on, and so to me they look more like the Fan Clan, because they were the obvious, well, they're a reference, let's say, to a real life sect, I believe. And I think it's even explicitly mentioned in the Mount Hua sect or something. So we'll see all of that, because this part is not over yet, so that's why maybe I'm rushing it a bit, but I'm just telling you how I feel about this. And also I can't wait to see, let's say, when we'll get the Fan Clan. So in the classic series, to me, they came across two completely distinct, different things. Two different evil groups, right? And one is mechanical, and the other one is more like, let's say, organic, in the sense that it's like animals, right? And they're on the mountains, and you see. But this is an army fighting with weapons, so it's mechanical. So what I liked in the classic series is that we had a clear distinction between the two. So I don't know how it's going to be in this remake, but so far I feel like we have less of that. Well, it's not even called God Army; it's a guerrilla. So it may be cool, but I think we have lost the cool things that we had in the classic series. This is the main thing I wanted to say. I have a second thing to say. It's less important, but I just want to mention it. Okay. So in the first episodes, we saw Shin naked. Right, and it's like, I asked why, and I said that you may come back and say, why not? Yeah, okay. Now, so the God Army, Gorang, so they're capturing women to impregnate them, if I may say, and get a superior descendants because they're superior and so on, right? Okay. So it's the second time we have in these first episodes of the anime, quite sexual things. We didn't have that in the classic series, and I mean, you see a dude completely naked for no reason, and we talked about that. And now it's like, in the anime, the story tells you get that story, right? So they're capturing the women to do that to them. So it's like sexual, yeah. You may ask me, what, like, you have a problem with that? Well, quite. I'm not a fan of sexual things in anime. And don't you think it's because I'm an incel or something, and so I'm raging, oh, sex everywhere, like, it's not... I'm married. Didn't know that? So I'm fine. By the way, I'm even fine with talking about sex. I would almost, not 100% sure, so I say almost, but I would almost say that, to me, sex shouldn't be a taboo or something. I don't know, this is a completely separate conversation, so I'm not going to go on that path. But believe me, that's not it. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to develop it much because kind of, this is another direction, let's say, but I feel like they're using... You put sex into an anime, so it's the easy way you give it you attribute to it the appearance, the image, the characteristic of a mature anime. It's like, oh, Shin is naked, completely, in front of girls, and oh, they're capturing the women to impregnate them. I'm not a fan. It's not, as I said, like there isn't much to say about this episode, and those are not big flaws. Let's say it's just general things I wanted to say, but I'm not a fan of that. The classic series is pure good. We get what we need to get. I want to go further in this, but I just wanted to mention this. Tell me what you think, and let's talk about it later. I don't want to make this video too long. Oh, one final thing. The dude in the restaurant who helps 𝙿𝚎 and Kensho in Rin, right? Well, in the classic series, I called him, for some reason, Smith. Well, his name is actually Johnny. Well, I think in this remake, they didn't call him yet. Well, I don't know whether it's proper to the classic series that his name is Johnny, but his name is Johnny, not Smith. Don't know, completely different. I don't know why I thought his name is Smith. That's it. That's it. I benefit from this episode to correct that.